Motions we're going to get through today, and then at the end of the UGM you'll be able to vote online at lsesu.com/vote. To start with, we're going to take reports off the sabbatical officers, but before we do, super hacky, boring procedural point. I made a ruling last night that we will not be having any votes or debates on amendments that have not been accepted as friendly, and that's been done on the basis of an interpretation of the bylaws from the General Secretary. Reports?
Yeah, I mean, this is, yeah.
Okay, so just on that really quickly, because it's an important point. We didn't reject them because we didn't want to hear them. They should still be heard today, and if people submitted amendments, feel free to pose those arguments. The logic is, at the moment, is that because of the rush to get online voting in place so that we could have better democracy and more people voting, we now have a couple of constitutional contradictions, which one of them says that voting can't happen in the room at any time because it's been moved online. And there is an old provision which actually says amendments should be heard in the room. And because the trustee board, which is responsible in the articles, which is more important, this is really hacky talk, I really apologise. There is the articles of the Constitution, then there are the bylaws. The articles reign supreme, they're the most important thing. Seeing as the trustee board have just made a judgment on that, my judgment was that for this time being, that should stand, and we're going to revisit those constitutional problems, and hopefully we can iron those out. But I'm conscious of time, I really don't want to spend the time talking about the joys of democracy committee. So just to reiterate, because I guess this is a report and I don't want to tread on any other staff's toes, we've had a really, really good start to term, like as a whole, and I'm quite proud of some of the things. You know, 14,500 new memberships to societies. Orientation was great. Big props to RAG for the various social stuff they did, the sold out wristband and whatever else. We've had smaller wins. Getting the schools to pay 26 grand for online access to the FT was great. They also offer loads of other stuff because we had loads of IR and history students who were really angry, calling me a Reagan-era neoliberal, which is fine, I don't mind that. But there are so many publications available, so ask with the library, you can get New York Times, The Times, The Guardian, whatever you want to read. Elections were good, over 2,000 members voted, including the successful referendum to bring voting back online. Particularly happy with that. We've got applications of around £250,000 going to the annual fund that will directly go to student activities and societies. So it's putting money back in your pocket, not just in a trustee board that you don't hear that much about. We've had the launch of The Graduate, which is a postgraduate research journal. And Rosie can't be here today, but she wanted me to tell you about the progress on the One LSE, One Standard of Education for All campaign. And we've had immediate success. 2,776 people responded to the survey, which is great. It's just under 1 in 3. It's the biggest consultation on education schools have in years, so we're proud of that just in its own right. But academic board, Sam and Jamie will attest to the fact that the school have agreed to move to an opt-out system for lecture captures. So we moved one step closer to universal lecture captures, which 94% of people in the survey demanded. So happy days. International students are a big focus of our campaigning this year. We're fighting the immigration bill day in, day out. I'm going to leave that mainly to Anita to chat about. But we've had, again, substantial success on that, in that we've now got MPs actively lobbying on our behalf to the Home Secretary, which is great. And if you want to see the letters, they're in my office, so feel free to drop by. Lastly, I spent the entire night last night outside of a police station.